guys. It's time to start talking about making a forecast. If you remember, your final project is going to be to, for the city that you pick, that you're collecting weather data on. Your goal is to look at a weather map and be able to make a weather forecast. So today's lesson is going to be about how do you do that? How do you read the map? And you know me, I've got a surefire way. You follow the steps, you should be okay. The first thing you need to know though is the symbols on the map, all right? And the first thing that you can see is I've given you the symbols up here. This is kind of your cheat sheet at this point. And you need to look at this. So whenever you see a blue H on the map, generally it'll have a circle around it. That means high pressure, all right? If you see a blue line with teeth, those teeth point in the direction that the cold air is moving. This is a cold front. If you see a red L on the map, that stands for low pressure. If you see a red line on the map that has little bumps on it, those bumps stand for what direction the warm air is moving, and that is a warm front. And last but not least, if you see the line that has the red, blue, and they're facing opposite directions, that is a stationary front. That means the air is not moving, and you identify it as that. Now I bring this up because as part of the cheat sheet, I'm going to basically give you what you say when you see these, because each one of these is its own weather prediction. And again, I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit here. You can see right here on this side that I've given you your forecast cheat sheet. So if I see a high pressure system, I see an H on the map. Wherever you see that H, the weather forecast is precipitation. There's a low chance. The actual forecast is going to be sunny, and the winds are going to be calm. Notice nothing about temperature, just low chance precipitation, sunny, and calm. If I see the low pressure symbol on the map, if I see the L, the forecast that you say is a high chance of precipitation. It's going to be cloudy and generally windy. So these symbols tell us exactly what to say. Now, we still have to deal with these. So when you see a cold front symbol, what happens on the line, right on the cold front line, is that the temperature is going to get colder and you have the potential for severe storms. Now, most people when they hear severe storms think thunderstorm, but that's not what we're talking. We're talking about severe weather, which could be heavy rains, thunderstorms, tornadoes, but it also could be heavy snow and blizzards. So we need to make sure that we understand that this severe stands for all types of weather, all right? Now, when you see the warm front symbol, that means we're going to have light precipitation and the temperatures are going to get warmer at that line. If you see the stationary front, that means the temperatures are going to stay about average and that you're going to have rain or snow for multiple days. Because the front is not moving, if you remember, where a front meets, that's where cold air and warm air mix, that's where we get our precipitation. So if it doesn't move, the location that has that line is going to have rain or snow for days. Now I bring this all up because there is a process for predicting weather. And we're going to talk about that in a second. When I look at this map, this is a simple map that I drew. It's not very realistic, but it will help you with the first time going through predicting weather. The goal here is we're going to try and predict the weather for Washington, D.C., and I'm basically guessing here. I just put a dot there. And the weather in the United States moves from California straight across the country to the East Coast. So what happens first, this will happen first, second, third, and it just starts moving across, and Washington, D.C. experiences the weather in the order that we see this. So when you start predicting your weather, you need to choose what happens first. Now I'm going to give you a quick little cheat sheet here, and then we'll come back to this map. All right, here's your cheat sheet, guys. When you do a forecast, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to number the events. That means every weather event that is a high pressure, low pressure, warm front, cold front, stationary front. You number them in the order that you think they're going to happen. And we'll show you that on the steps. I just want to explain this. So you number the events first. Once you've numbered the events, you go back to each number and you write the forecast. And to write a forecast, we need to have four things: precipitation, forecast, wind, and temp. Those four things have to be written down for each event. So we're going to go back to the weather map, and I will show you how this is done. Okay, now that we're back on the weather map, remember, we need to number the events first, and then we need to write a forecast for each one of those events. What we're looking for then is high pressure, low pressure, cold air, cold front, warm front, stationary front. So when I look at my map, I have to decide what's going to get to Washington, D.C. first. Well, it's obvious that this low pressure system is going to get there first. So I number that 1. The next event that's going to happen, well, is going to be a warm front. That's the second thing that's going to get to Washington, D.C., and I number that number 2 because that's the second thing. The third thing that's going to happen is, another low pressure system. So I would number that 3. All right. Now I'm not going to do the rest of the map. That's going to be your assignment. But I want to start. So after I've numbered my map, the next thing I have to do is I have to do 4 things: precipitation, forecast, wind, and temp for each one of these numbers. So if I'm looking at this, number 1, well, it's a low pressure system. Now I need to go back to, I'll get my cheat sheet in the map with you. I need to go back to my cheat sheet over there, and you can see low pressure. What is the precipitation for low pressure? Well, it says high chance. So I write down a high chance of precipitation. The second thing it asks for is the forecast. Is it going to be sunny or cloudy? And you can see under low pressure again that the forecast is going to be cloudy. All right. The third thing we ask is the wind. And if we look at the chart, again, the cheat sheet, the low pressure says it's going to be windy. And the last thing we have to determine is temperature. Now that one's a little harder, but if we look to event number 2, we can see that this is a warm front, which means warm air is going this way. If warm air is moving this way, we know we have cold air on this side, so we can say it's going to be cold. That's how you fill out the first one. Now the second one, the next step is to do the next one, would be number 2. Well, number 2 is a warm front. Well, what is the precipitation on a warm front? You have to go down to the bottom where it says on the warm front, you're going to have light precipitation. And then we're going to ask for the forecast. Well, we have to decide now. We have to look ahead for the forecast. If there's a low pressure here, the low pressure is moving this way, which means it's in control. So you always look ahead to find out what it's going to be. So if we have a low pressure, we're going to have a warm front, which is light precipitation, but we're going to have cloudy, because that's part of low pressure. We're going to have windy, and the last one is temp. Well, it's a warm front. So what are going to happen to the temps? It's going to be warmer. And then you'd move on to number 3, which is a low pressure system again. At the low pressure system, The precipitation is a high chance of rain. The forecast is going to be cloudy. It's going to be windy. And it's going to be warm because a warm front just went through. And this is how you write a forecast. So if you were getting up to do your presentation, well, for you guys, it'll be record your presentation. You're going to tell me, for example, ladies and gentlemen, my forecast is for Washington, D.C. Today, you can expect a high chance of precipitation. It's going to be cloudy, windy, and colder than average. But tomorrow there'll be a warm front, see number 2. Tomorrow will be a warm front coming in where we can expect light precipitation. There will be clouds, it will be windy, but the temperatures are going to be warmer. It should warm up a little bit. And then on Friday, that's 3 days away from today, on Friday, we should have a low pressure system come back in. There's a high chance of rain all day. It will be cloudy, windy, but the temps will be warm. And that's why we go through this process, is to see, if you write this down, you can make a very general forecast about what's going to happen. Your job is to send to me in a Google Doc 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You need to send these to me with what you believe the forecast is. This is an ungraded assignment. This is ungraded. This is a practice. If you understand how to write these, when you get to your weather forecast, you will do awesome. Just make sure that you understand. If you don't, then I will provide feedback on where I think we can make some adjustments to help you understand how to make this forecast. This is a very simple map. When we get to the more complex ones, which I'll be sending out pretty much every other day, you will have a chance to look through them, make your weather prediction, and I'll provide feedback again so that when you get to your final presentation, you will do an amazing job. Hope you guys have a great day. Get outside, do something fun. We'll talk at you later.